Welcome to the Selectmen's meeting for the town of Acton, Maine for January 8th, 2019. First item is salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, approval of the agenda.
I make a motion we approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Nope. Call for a vote. All in favor? All opposed? Minutes of the last meeting?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the last two meetings, which I believe are December 27th and December 25th.
December 18th and December 27th.
Oh, we didn't. Oh, we
25th
didn't
was
meet on
Christmas.
Christmas. I was minusing the 2 days. Yes, the 18th and the 27th.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Thought that sounded odd.
Okay, moved and seconded to approve the minutes of December 18th and 22nd. Any further discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor? All opposed? Department heads, committee chair updates.
Roland Waterhouse, Warrant Finance Chair. Just to let the board know, I've already notified Jennifer. I have scheduled a Warrant Finance Committee meeting for next Tuesday after the Board of Selectmen's meeting. I've also sent out notices via the town's server to all committee members. I've also garnered committee members' telephone numbers so that if I don't hear from people, I'm going to be calling them and yanking their chain, because we have people that have not made any warrant finance meetings in a long time. So, but I went ahead and made the set the meeting for next Tuesday, being as what we discussed last night at the workshop. There seems to be a need to proceed hastily. So that's my update.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other department heads, committee chairs? Nope. Okay. Move on to old business, timesheets.
So the timesheets and purchase orders, we've worked with the treasurer, and the two road commissioners are in place now, and we've got a process to kind of hold us over until we decide what direction the town's going to go in. So we'll kind of just table those until we have something more solid in place.
Sounds good. Bridge proposals.
So the two that came in were emailed over to the selectmen and also the road committee chair. As I understood it, the road committee was going to meet and make a recommendation. I think that's what we talked about prior to the bids coming in. I'm not sure if they have any meetings scheduled. I don't have anything in January.
Okay.
Cindy, do you know if you guys,
I'm sure you'll be hearing from Chuck about that.
to meet,
Pardon?
to schedule a meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So do I understand that the board you want to wait until you get a recommendation from the road committee on which proposal to go with before you act on it, correct?
I would think,
I
yeah.
would
Yes.
like a recommendation.
Yeah, we would
Okay,
like
so
a
just so I-
recommendation.
Chuck was at the meeting over there too, so he'll be real helpful with this.
Okay.
All right, so we'll wait to hear from him.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
Department heads and committee board presentations.
All right, so I made you a list. I like to make you lists of what I believe are all of the town departments and committees. I just wanted you to take a look at it and make sure, A, that I didn't forget anybody. B, kind of get an idea if, assuming the list is correct, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, so call it 20. So if we did, how, you know what I mean? You want them to come around, every 4 months, every 6 months? What do you want? How often do you want the same one to come around? So I can have an idea of how many to schedule per night, per
I'd say every
Tuesday.
3.
3?
Yeah,
So if we do that, then
they come in 4 times a year,
so
kind
let's say
of.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. So
What
if
do you
you
think,
had
Elise?
to meet next week on the 15th, you would be back around on the 26th of March. So that's only about a little over 2 months. So if you do two a Tuesday night, it'll spread it out a little more, or did you just assume see them more often? How often do you want to see them?
Well, some of these we see fairly often. Road Committee we see often.
Yeah, it's
Warrant and
just-
Finance we see often. Cemetery Committee we see once a week, or at least one member of it.
Well, and that's the thing, we want it to be a committee, and we want
I
it.
couldn't help but
we
pick
want it-
pick on.
We want the email to go, I mean, we want the memo to go out to the committee as a
Right.
whole. This isn't, you know,
Right.
Right.
remember, I mean, individually, we're people, together you're a board or committee. So
Yeah.
even though you may feel like you see them often,
Well, we see the
we're going to invite
chairman
the committee.
sometimes of
right.
these committees, so, yeah. So some of these will be quick, some of these will be a little longer, so.
Oh, and we're
So
gonna, you
did
said
you-
limit them to like a 15-minute update, so.
Yeah.
If we did 2 a week, that would spread it out a little more. They would be January and then April, it'd be more like every 3 months.
Every 3 months
I
or
would think that
so.
would work,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, then we get spring,
Write it on
summer,
there,
winter,
Celeste?
fall type of
I'm
thing.
not, off the top of my head. No.
We'll take a look at it. I'll start scheduling for them for next Tuesday anyways,
Okay.
and,
Great.
we'll get going.
Maybe you could pull one from, one from the top list and one from the bottom list. I don't know, however you want to do it, but,
I was gonna put them in a hat and pull them out.
okay, that works
There you
too.
go.
I'll mix it up. I will make sure, I know which ones like to talk a little more than others, so I'll
Yeah.
make good choices on who goes together.
There we
Okay.
go.
Okay. Anything else on that? Either one of you two? No? Okay. Okay, new business. Registrar appointment.
So pursuant to Title 21A, Section 101, the appointment of your registrar of voters is every 2 years. That's just the statute in case you wanted to see it or had forgotten it. And they're supposed to be appointed by January 1st of the odd year. So we are a week out, but we need to
Okay.
appoint a registrar.
Okay.
Do you have anybody in mind?
Trying to think.
About you.
Trying to think. Kimber at least really doesn't know who the registrar of voters is, do you?
Yes,
Do you? I'm
did.
not a good actor and a terrible liar,
I'm trying
too.
to think. What
I'm like, when are they going to take her job? There you go.
Did you know, Kim, who the registrar was?
I knew you were. Of course I know you are.
It's too funny. We don't sign your warrant or anything.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Okay, certificate of appointment, Selectmen's Office, Municipality of Acton, Maine, to Jennifer Rue. The Selectmen of the Municipality of Acton do in accordance with the provisions of the laws of the state of Maine hereby appoint you as Registrar of Voters within and for the Municipality of Acton until December 31st, 2020. Given under our hand this 8th day of January 2019.
So they're 2-year appointments?
Yes, I gave you the statute there, so you could,
But isn't
It's always-
19 to 20, isn't
And
that
it's,
1 year?
and it's not the fiscal year, it's the
no, it's
annual
all of
year.
19 and all of 20. They have to
Okay.
be appointed
Yep.
by January
I see it
1st
now.
of
Yep.
the odd
Yep.
year.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Got it. Yep. So, what is your wishes?
I make a motion to appoint Jennifer Rue as Registrar of Voters until December 31st, 2020.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to appoint Jennifer Rue. Any discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor? All opposed?
That kind of follows up on something that we were talking about last night, how there's certain positions that the state delegates how long the terms are, and that's
Oh,
one of
okay.
them.
That's one of them. Okay. Use your pen.
They want to make sure, that based on how their November elections fall, that somebody is in there. There's a
Thank you.
thought behind it.
Sure.
Thank you. There we go.
Okay. Draft policies for conduct for elected and appointed officials.
Oh,
There we go.
Finally.
Ethics and conduct.
just kidding.
Really just say finally? Wow.
I'm like, we've been working on this.
Very nice.
So this is the contract the board has been waiting for. Thank you. There is, I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't gone through and read it. Brad drafted this.
Yeah. Okay.
Some time ago when he asked you guys. I guess, I was starting to browse through it, and I just wanted to give you a copy tonight so that you could go through and kind of highlight your thoughts. I guess my first question as I read this to Brad is, what are you going to do if an elected official doesn't do something in here?
Right.
What are you going to do?
Exactly.
guess I
What
don't
can
know.
we do?
It's up to the towns.
Well, right, so
folks,
what's the purpose of having a
Well,
code
it's
of
something to
conduct?
hold us to, isn't it? I mean,
Well, it is,
you know,
but if you
Yeah.
can't do anything at the end of the day, then, I mean, I don't know, it's just, but there's some, I mean, for town employees, I get, and it's certainly very, I just wonder if there are any ramifications, and, maybe there are, but it talks about conflict of interest, it talks about accepting gifts and standards, public meetings, alcohol and substance abuse. I know that Dr. Williams spoke to me after the meeting last night and mentioned a code of conduct for employees and elected officials as well, so it was something that he wanted to see put in. But if you can read over it, highlight any concerns, we'll put it back on the agenda for next Tuesday, see what you think.
right,
Anything you want to add, let me know.
positive workplace environment.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much.
Okay, speed limit change.
So if you guys recall, say a few months back, but it probably was longer than that, we had people coming to us about the foot of the lake trading post. I think we had accident after accident, and we've had a couple of fatalities. So we reached out to the Department of Transportation, and it takes them a little while to come out and do a speed survey, but we did receive this letter on December 21st. It says, "Please be advised that the speed zones described in the attached memo for Route 109 in the town of Acton have been approved. Within the next few weeks, Maine DOT personnel will conduct all changes in speed zoning along the roadway by removing any old signage and installing the appropriate new signage with the changes, since this is considered to be a state highway." So I did send this over to the sheriff's department, so they're aware of it. And I think I showed it to you, but I'm gonna let you, I think that this is what it, so it was originally 50 miles an hour through all of that, right? That's the old
It
one?
went 50, 40 until you got to the boat, what's the name of the boat? Parker's Boat, and then it went to 35.
Okay,
Drops
so,
to 40 just before
Just before.
7th Street, is it?
so they have it dropping to 35, basically, I mean, from like Holsworth to
Good.
Ted's Fried Clams?
Yes,
There we go.
Yeah.
yep.
We better remember to slow down.
And they'll put, don't quote me on that map of exactly, you guys can look at it afterwards if you want, and we'll certainly have the copy in our office, but,
So
that's what I see when I look at it, but somewhere in those areas.
And the other thing that's going to change that we didn't ask to change is,
We did ask them to go down to 35, did we? That far out?
well, it's going from 40 to 35.
Okay. After, because after you go past the fork and the foot, it's,
Well, I don't know if you, there's,
It's right here.
when people pull out on Route 11, people pulled out literally right in front of me from when I'm heading into Acton.
they pull out in front of you from the store?
Yeah, no, from Route 11.
From
I'm like,
Shapley.
did you not see, from Shapley?
Right. Well, and
Nobody-
from the Shapley side, I can tell you that DOT has also been over there, and they are making a change to, I have to draw you a picture, but right on that corner, so if you're coming down the hill and you're going to stay to the right to turn to Shapley, they're extending that line, they're pushing that line all the way in and making it more of a tighter 90-degree angle.
Oh, okay.
So that
So
it-
you can't whiz around the
right.
corner.
So,
Okay.
they came out and did a pattern check of the entire area, so I don't know how they're gonna change signs this time of year, if that's even feasible, but the Shapley piece of it, there's talk about crosswalks in that area and, a
Is that
couple of
at
the
the
changes
base?
on the Shapley side, so.
Good.
I think the other change I saw was, as you get closer to the New Hampshire line, right now it's 45. I think they're dropping it from Garvin Road to the New Hampshire line, they're dropping it from 45 to 40.
That's
In
good with
Acton?
that, with that
Yeah.
curve. You know how, with that
Yeah.
shot before the pit?
I did
I think
that,
that's what I saw on
There's the
here.
40.
Yeah. Is that not Garvin?
Yes, 45, basically from the corner of Sam Page up here, well,
yeah, but that's not a change, is it?
it's 45,
Can I see the cover letter?
Currently, it's
Oh, wait a minute.
45 all the way to the New Hampshire line.
right.
So they're
It's going to
get
drop just beyond Garvin Road, probably about where,
Where the wreck is almost.
yeah, about where the rec center,
Oh, okay,
where the
here we go.
rec field
Yep.
is. It's going to drop to 40, all the way to the New Hampshire line.
Okay, so this lists out, it adopts, see, the memo kind of, to me, is maybe a little misleading, because it says this traffic study on, I thought they were just doing the traffic study on 109, but now that I look at this, it says adopt, and it spells out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ones, and Garvin Road, so So it's adopting, like this one, 45 miles per hour, beginning at the northern junction of Sam Page Road, and it gives a nod number.
Yep.
Extending .48 of a mile, and then 40 miles an hour, beginning at that .48 mile junction with Garvin Road, extending 1.07 miles. So they actually, it's a good point, they changed like six
A
different
few
places.
spots, yeah.
On 109. So,
Yeah.
You can go up and get it.
so you'll see some
Basically, if
signage
you-
changes.
If you start at the New Hampshire border.
You're
you-
starting at 40.
It's 40 miles an hour to about the rec field. Then it goes to 45 miles an hour to the upper end here of Sam Page, basically right at the corner of my house.
Then what's it gonna do?
And then it goes from there to
Up to 50?
50. It goes up to 50, basically through Acton, and then it drops when you get about, halfway down,
Past Loon Pond?
yeah, past Loon Pond, just about the start of the field, at Holsworth Field, it drops back to 40, and then just a little bit beyond that, about where the 40-mile-an-hour sign is now, it drops to 35.
Right.
So they're moving
Foot
the
of the,
40,
yeah, goes right down by the foot of the lake, and that goes all the way through to basically past Ted's Fried Clams. So, it doesn't say what it does after that, so,
That's
good.
So there's-
And there's some comments, I'll scan this so you
Yeah.
guys can see it, but there's some.
yeah.
Thanks.
So that
Anyway, I
should,
can't remember who was at that meeting. I know we had a couple of people from the public. I may
Yeah.
go back and look at some minutes and maybe send that to them so they at least know that there
Yep.
was a follow-through.
Yeah.
yep, okay. Okay. Appointed versus elected road commissioner status.
Route 109, I'm just reminding myself to do that. Okay,
Yep.
so, all right, so last night we had our initial presentation with Warren and Finance and Road Committee. Couple of things that kind of have come up since then and some calls that needed to be made. Okay, so the board needs to decide what direction they want to go in with this. And based on what we kind of talked about in our workshop a little bit, what I thought I heard you say is that you're considering a public hearing to do either one of two things, to either, depending on the crowd that we can gather from a public hearing, if it's a different crowd than we saw last night, then we'll go through the presentation with some minor changes, and we'll present it to the town again at a townwide public hearing. If we in turn get the same group of people, we'll just do like a questions and answers.
Yep.
So we were looking at a public hearing on January 22nd.
Okay.
Yep,
I just need to know what time you want that public hearing?
that was a Tuesday?
Is it a
Tuesday.
Tuesday? Maybe 7? Is that too late, or do you think that's good after our meeting? 6?
I think 7 would be good. Some people
If-
would
What do you
like
guys-
it in here last night because
So if you're gonna do 7, I'm gonna ask you to do it on the 23rd.
Yeah, because you have a meeting,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, then,
I
I
yeah.
would say, yeah, I was gonna ask
Sorry,
that.
I
'cause-
forgot.
Okay, so January
Yeah.
23rd at 7 PM, I
Yep.
will advertise a public hearing, and it'll be just regarding that question.
Yep.
And we'll be prepared for the presentation, and certainly if the Warren and Finance and Road Committee have changes or thoughts based on what we showed last night,
Yep.
please come to me and we'll make
Just
some minor
for-
changes,
yep.
yep. So assuming we have a public hearing on the 23rd, actually, wait a minute, let's do the public hearing on the 21st, and let me tell you why. If we do the public hearing on the 21st at 7 o'clock, which is a Monday,
Mm-hmm.
if you get a good support and you decide to move forward, then on the 22nd, you can sign a warrant calling for a special town meeting.
Oh,
If we do it on the 23rd, and you
right.
have good support, I have to wait until the 29th, the next selectmen's meeting.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So 21st.
public hearing will be January 21st at 7 PM. And then on the 22nd, you'll meet the next day and decide what direction you want to go in.
Sure,
Okay.
Okay, so if you decide to have a special town meeting, assuming you get a good turnaround on the 22nd, we're looking at Wednesday, February 5th. Wednesday, February 6th, sorry. Wednesday, February 6th, also at 7 o'clock
for the special town meeting.
for the special town meeting. So you would be able to sign it on the 22nd, it'd get posted on the 23rd. That's more than enough time
Okay,
Bye.
to have it posted.
okay.
So where does that leave us now, and what does it leave us now in the middle of winter? So this is what I'm proposing after speaking to our legal team today. As we know, Mr. Langley is our interim District 1 road commissioner, and he is currently the road commissioner through January 15th. So what I'm proposing is that you appoint Mr. Langley as a continued interim road commissioner until February 13th. And that date came up because you have the special town meeting on February 6th, so you'll know what the town has decided, and we'll be able to have a selectmen's meeting the following Tuesday, the 12th, to make any determinations. So on the 12th, you're going to have a couple of options. You're going to say, okay, it passed, so we have the right, if it passes, you're going to have the right, based on the situation, to appoint Mr. Langley throughout the remainder of this winter season, if you so choose, meaning the rest of, these next couple of months. If it fails, then you're going to need to advertise a road commissioner position that is only going to be good through June 30th of 2018, because we're going to be having nomination papers and we're going to be running an election. So the attorneys, so basically the recommendation is that you can, because of the situation and the emergency, and because of the road commissioner resigning in the middle of winter, if the town supports this, then you can extend his appointment because to get through this fix and to let him finish it through the winter. But if the town doesn't and they decide they want to stay elected, then the right thing to do is to advertise the position. But again, we'll be lucky at that point, we'll be looking at the end of March, 1st of April, before we can even do interviews. So winter's gonna be over,
Yeah.
kind of either way, but we're going
Yeah.
with, and David and I, we've had the conversations, and we'll clarify any other questions, but that's how I see it playing out.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, it
What are your
sounds
thoughts?
logical to me.
Right.
She meant to say 19, though. June 30th of
19.
2019.
I don't know what year it is.
Good evening. Hello again. Seems like I was just here a few weeks ago, but no, just so everybody in public TV understands that, we're on board. So however this plays out and everything, we have had the conversation that no matter what the time is in the time frame, we're still most likely could possibly have winter into April. So keep that in mind that, I've talked to my son, I've talked to our other drivers and personnel that are helping in District 1. Everybody's on board. So that's what, just so everybody understands that we're on board, that however this plays out, and then we'll cross that other bridge when we get there as time goes on. So I just wanted to let everybody know that. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we appreciate everything you're doing for us as well. So it's been a big
All
help.
So January 23rd, 1st, 7 PM public hearing, Wednesday, February 6th, 7 PM special town meeting.
Yep.
So this appointment is through February 13th, the Tuesday
Okay.
after the special town meeting, that will then decide where we're going.
Okay. Certificate of Appointment, Selectman's Office, Municipality of Acton, Maine. 2, David Langley, the Selectman of the Municipality of Acton, do in accordance with the provisions of the laws of the state of Maine, hereby appoint you as District 1 Interim Road Commissioner within and for the Municipality of Acton until February 13th, 2019. Given under our hand this 8th day of January 2019.
I make a motion to appoint David Langley for District 1 Interim Road Commissioner until February 13th, 2019.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call for vote. All in favor? All opposed?
David, I just, quick thing I want to run by you regarding drug testing after the meeting. Remind me to speak to you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Is this for us?
School budget timeline. Kids.
So the superintendent and financial and personnel director have sent over this timeline. They made a couple of changes to it. We went through the dates with them. The way that it's set up, they're looking to have a special town meeting on April 2nd. They've got March 18th set as the day that the budget is due for the town hall for you guys to sign it, which would be on the 19th. But this is the budget hearings, in case you want to attend them. It's, I guess, a conversation that the board really needs to have. I mean, Kim is a
Oh, yeah.
selectman, and she's a liaison to the school committee. Their budget meetings are Tuesdays at 5. So that's what works best for the school, and that's the date they're going to keep. The board is met on Tuesdays for, so I'm not sure how you want to handle it, or if you want to try to make light agendas, or skip a couple, or, but
I'd
Kim
say
certainly
I'd-
doesn't want to
yeah,
meet,
I'd-
she doesn't want to miss the selectmen meeting.
No, I don't want to miss.
Right, right.
Are they consecutive weeks?
That's what I was
22
just,
and
No, it
seven
looks
is
like the,
nine.
22nd,
22nd.
29th, yes.
Like the two of them are.
Skips a little.
And then we've got a little bit of time. There's only one in February, so that would be,
And maybe we can, if you want, Kim, I can touch base with the superintendent and find out, because in the beginning, if they're meeting with the individual departments, that may be something
Right.
you could miss a little more
Yep,
than if they're
yep.
going over each individual warrant article.
Yep.
That might be something. So let me see as we get a little closer.
Okay.
Where exactly they are, so you can decide which one's best to miss if you decide
Yep.
to.
okay, thank you.
Kimberly, you're welcome.
Okay,
Budget.
budget workshop.
So, we sent out a memo reminding the department heads that the budgets were due to our offices by February 1st. A couple of things for road commissioners, especially, well, not so much commissioners, more for David. We're going to just, and actually maybe for Joe too, we're just going to sit on not turning in your budget until after the special town meeting, because that's going to change how it's budgeted. So I reached out to Michelle, she knows that your budgets won't come in. Because if it passes, then we're going to be doing a department budget together. If it doesn't, then it's going to be a little different. So don't worry about getting yours together until after that town meeting, and we'll schedule something from there. As far as the selectmen, we need to have a one-on-one, the five of us, with the treasurer, so we can go through line by line your budget and see what you want to do.
In the past, Mondays have worked.
Okay? So I'll reach out to Michelle and see.
Yep.
Do you have Martin Luther King Day off?
Depends.
I'm looking at Monday, the 21st.
I do have that off.
I know that Michelle would much rather, because that's not a holiday for us.
Right.
Okay.
So at least it wouldn't be, she'd rather do it during the day than.
Yep,
So we'll shoot for the 21st, and,
yep, first thing in the morning.
well, I mean, it's Monday, so we like to have our coffee and do payroll, so I'm thinking.
Okay, 9:30.
Let me talk to Michelle, I'll get back to you.
Okay,
Maybe that day. Does
Thanks.
that work
Maybe
for you
that day.
guys, if
Yeah.
that works for her?
That's fine.
Yeah.
yep, the only thing that would mess it up for me would be snow,
Yes, of course.
so. Okay, budget workshop. Okay. Public comment. Anyone from the public? Seeing none? Oh.
I warned you last night.
Yep,
Roland Waterhouse, taxpayer. I'm not speaking on behalf of Warrant Finance at all. We have a committee which the town voted to keep. And they do outstanding work. They need to have guidance from the selectmen written down that clearly defines what their areas of responsibility are. That way, no one can accuse them of going off willy-nilly here and willy-nilly there, poking their heads into something that doesn't concern them. Without having specific guidelines,
did you mention which committee it was?
Yeah,
I have not.
So it's the road committee.
It's
and
the road
select-
committee.
all right.
And let me just real quick, so the board has actually talked about this in the workshop hours the last, a couple of meetings before the holiday, and they thought the best direction for this at this point is, knowing they were gonna put this forward, is wait and see what happens, because the involvement of the road committee is going to differ if it's a town department versus if we end up with an elected official. So they have a lot of ideas, but they're waiting until after the special town meeting, and then they will work on getting responsibilities and duties for most, all of the committees in town, not just the road committee.
That's excellent.
Perfect, came up with it myself.
And I hope that it doesn't fall through the crack. It took us a long time to get job descriptions done, as you three remember. That was like a 9-month process. So hopefully this doesn't drag out
And, you know, as much as, and as much as I think the board can appreciate that comment, we're also running a municipality.
I understand
So,
that as
you know,
well.
rest assured, when we look at
Well-
priorities, if everybody's doing their job and everybody is going above and beyond as they would, it didn't take, you know, it didn't make it to the top of the ladder as far, you know, when we have other things. So I'm not sure that comment was necessary, but it will not fall between the cracks.
Well, I wasn't casting rocks
I
at
know, but I'm
anybody.
just saying that, you know.
I certainly was not casting rocks.
I'm
It
not-
just
no,
took
I'm just saying that, you
a
know-
long time to get things done.
Probably for good reason, if you want to sit
And-
down and review
yes.
what's gone on in the town during those months.
Absolutely.
Thank
And
you.
I totally agree. Okay?
Good, thank
I
you,
told you I was going to bring it up.
thank you. Anyone else? Nope. Okay, announcements?
I stopped putting the meetings on there because you said that it'd be on the website,
Yeah,
so.
I have an announcement, though. I just have to find it again. Crap, where'd it go? Okay. I have to enlarge it. It's the Sanford High School and the Partners for Healthier Communities and Maine Prevention Services are putting on a presentation for parents who are interested in learning more about the concerns of vaping in our youth. I think this is a big problem with our kids. I don't know if you have any, but it's a huge problem. So it's this Thursday night, 6 to 7 at the Sanford High School Performing Arts Center. I have a flyer here. I wanted to print it to hang up, but I didn't get to that. So
Forward it to me, we can get it on cable for a couple of days, it might.
I did forward it to Mike
Okay,
this
good.
morning, and he said he got it up. And I
Excellent.
did forward it to the school as well, and hopefully they can hand it out. It's a big issue. It's a nasty,
Definitely not a replacement for cigarettes.
no. No, it's probably worse.
So,
but-
yeah, yeah, okay. Everything?
I don't, I'm good
Anything
tonight.
else?
Nope.
No, anything else? No, okay. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Good night, all.